everybody! This is Abby, an occupational therapist registered here in the Philippines by God's grace. And you are watching Good Ideas, Good Thoughts. In this video, we're going to talk about language facilitation techniques, or LFTs. So what is LFTs? LFTs are techniques used usually by an occupational therapist to facilitate the child's language. During evaluation of a child, the parents are interviewed. During interview, most of their concerns, or one of their concerns, is the speech of their child. Disclaimer: speech and language are the forte of a speech therapist. However, OTs like us, we are trained to facilitate the child on how to communicate in order for them to participate socially. First, let's talk about the speech development of a typical child. Children's language is complex, productive, creative, and governed by rules. During the first year of the child's life, or before a child says his first real word, he goes through the following 6 and perhaps 7 stages of speech. 0 to 1 month or newborn babies, typically they are crying. 2 to 3 months, they squeals, laughs, coos, and chuckles. 4 to 6 months, they are babbling and lip sound are heard. During 1-year-old or 14 months, one-word sentence or holo phrases. During 18 months, they point, named body parts, and they can identify picture. During 2 years old, 2-word phrases such as sit down or multi-word sentence. During 3 years old, 3-word sentences such as get my dolly can be heard. During 4 years old, they can repeat 4-digit numbers. During 5 years old, number concept until 10, and they have fluent speech. And during 6 years old, mastery of grammar. According to Verdom, there is a grading when it comes to child's speech. Good, when 1 word by 2 years old. Fair, when sound by 2 years old. And poor, if there is no sound or word by 3 or 4 years old. The current theory focuses on the child's general cognitive development and the impact of the language heard by the child. According to studies, there is pre-linguistic stages of speech. Number 1, undifferentiated crying. With no language but a cry, babies come into this world. Early crying is a reflexive reaction to the environment. Number 2, differentiated crying. After the first month of life and of crying, the close listener can often discriminate differences in a baby's cries and can identify their causes. Number 3, cooing. At about 6 weeks, chance movements of the child's mechanisms produce a variety of simple sounds called cooing. The squeals, gurgles, and bleats are usually emitted when he or she is happy and contented. The first sounds are vowels, and the first consonant is H. Number 4. Babbling. This vocal gymnastics begin at about 3 or 4 months, as a child playfully repeats a variety of sounds, such as ma 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 ma, da 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 da, and so much more. While most children babble in this age, a few seem to skip this stage. Number 5. Lilation, also known as imperfect imitation. Sometime during the second half of the first year, a child seems become more aware of the sound around him. He will become quiet while listening to some sound. When it stops, he babbles in excitement, accidentally repeating the sounds and syllables heard. Then the child imitates his or her own sounds. Number 6. Echolalia, also known as imitation of the sounds of others. At about the age of 9 or 10 months, a child seems to consciously imitate the sounds made by others, even though he or she still does not understand them. Number 7. Expressive jargon. During the second year of a child's life, many children use expressive jargon. This term, coined by Giselle, refers to a string of utterances that sound like sentences with pauses, inflections, and rhythms. However, speech is not yet communicated verbally on a consistent basis. Now let's talk about linguistic speech. Number 1. One-word sentence, also known as hollow phrase. At about a year, he or she points to the door and says, "Out." Number 2. Multi-word sentence. Sometime about the age of 2, a child strings together 2 or more words to make a sentence, such as "Ma milk," meaning, "Mommy, I want milk." The earliest multi-word sentences are combinations of nouns and verbs. Other parts of speech are lacking. This is telegraphic speech. It contains only words that carry meaning. Number 3. Grammatically correct verbal utterances. At about the age of 3, the child has an impressive command of the language. He now has a vocabulary of some 900 words, speaks in longer sentences that include all the parts of speech. For example, "We go to the store." By the time a child is 5 or 6 years old, his language is much like an adult's. But the child does not develop language skillfully until 8 or 9 years of age. There are individual differences in rate of language and grammar development, as well as in language style, that are influenced by both heredity and environment. Current theory focuses on the child's general cognitive development and the impact of the language heard by the child. What is language facilitation techniques, or LFTs. These are techniques most occupational therapists use to facilitate a child's language. First, information talk, also known as info talk, used for nonverbal clients, for children who have not started speaking yet. The strategy is to describe what is happening in the environment and what activities the child is doing at the moment. Use 2 to 3 words or short sentences as much as possible. This way, it can be understood clearly by the child. In this strategy, child is stimulated and is oriented that things in his environment and his actions have corresponding names and meanings attached to them. For example, the child picks red ball on the floor. And you will say, "Oh, that's a red ball. James is playing with the red ball. Oh, you bounced the red ball. Throwing red ball. You like playing ball." Next is echo talk. The child must have the ability to do gestures. When the child starts acquiring physical communication or gestures, but has the difficulty in expressing verbally, you as therapist or guardian or parent can echo talk. You become the spoken echo of the child's gestures. This technique pairs actions to the corresponding words. This will train the child of what is the right word or words to the right objects or actions. For example, the child wants to open the door. You saw him extend his arms to reach the doorknob. And you will say, "Want to open door?" "Yes." Say, "Open door, please." "Open, please." Next is obstacles. For children who are not motivated and shows manipulative behaviors. When a child wants something, wait for him to say it or model it to the child. It's a situation that provides the child to talk, sabotage the environment, purposefully put favorite toy or item out of reach so that they have to ask for it. For example, the child puts his favorite toy car on the table. You hide the toy on the cabinet. The child is now searching for his toy. And you will say, "What do you want?" "I want..." Ami wants crayons." "No? What do you want?" Give few seconds or a minute before you ask again and model it. Give what? Give toy car. Give toy car. Next is filling in. This is a strategy that helps the child fill in the blank. Use familiar sounds, songs, or words in order for the child to speak. For example, what's the sound of the dog? Woof, woof. Next, the wheels and the... And another, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and let the child fill in the blank. Next is expansion. Expansion of the child's utterances is a basic tool in language facilitation. The strategy is to repeat what the child just said and then add a little more words or concepts such as color, size, number, etc. to expand the phrase or sentence. For example, the child points his fingers to the water jug and he said, "Want drink?" And you will say, "Oh, you want to drink? Say water, please." "I want to drink 1 glass of water, please." "I want to drink water, please." And last but not the least is repetition. The strategy is to repeat the words over and over again. When we let the child hear a word or words being used often, it helps him to learn the word. For example, you will say, "Oh look, there's your white socks. Get your white socks. Wear white sock on left foot. Wear white sock on right foot. Very good. All of the LFTs tackled in this video can be used with all the children who are learning language, whether there is delay or not. By the way, this video is requested by my friend, Fat. I hope, Fat, this video will be helpful to you and to your clients, and also to all viewers who are watching this video. I hope you learned something from this video. And for all the moms and dads, titos, titas, and lolo, lolas, and all of you who are watching, you can try this to your child, or any child that you know who are having difficulties speaking. Okay? So try it and see if it works for them. So there, thank you for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, pray always unto the Lord. That's the most important, to pray always unto the Lord and be in a right relationship with God. So bye, God bless, see you next time.